It doesn't matter who you are, entrepreneur, small business owner, freelancer, employee, consultant. If I were to ask you, do you need to or would you like to make more money? Overwhelmingly, the answer is going to be yes. There are 4 ways that people make more money, just 4 basic ways. And in this video, I'm going to share them with you, so stick around. What's up, fam? It's Mike Gastin, and in this video I'm going to share with you the 4 key ways that people make more income, more revenue. Now the first 2 are going to be pretty common. These are the ways that most people go about it, and really they're not that desirable. The second 2 ways are less common, and these are the ways that you really want to focus on making more revenue, so let's get into it. The first way that most people make more money is by working more hours. This is very typical both for employees and for small business owners. Let me explain what I mean by that. So as an employee, let's say you make $10 an hour and you work 40 hours a week. That's $400 a week, and you need more cash. Well, what most people do is they try to work some overtime or they try to get a part-time job, but they try to make more money by working more hours. Now, business owners do the same thing. They don't just work more hours themselves, but they hire more people. So they have 10 people working 40 hours a week. Then they say, look, I need to grow my revenue and we're going to try to get more business in here. And so we just get more people doing more work. That's just trading time for money. So that's the most common way. And quite frankly, it's the most undesirable way for a number of reasons, but mainly because time is limited. We all only have so much time. You can't create more time. So that's the most common way. Let's look at the second most common way. And this is the one that most people go to after a little while. They go, look, I can't work more hours. I'm exhausted. I want to get paid more per hour. So rather than trade more time for money, I want to get more money for my time. Now you would say, well, that's pretty smart, right? If you're making $10,000 a year salary, nobody makes that, but let's say you're making 10 grand a year and you're like, I need to make more, I'm not making ends meet. And you get out there and you try to find a job that pays $20,000 a year. And you land that job and you're still working 40 hours, you're still doing similar work, but you're really excited now because you're making more money for every hour that you put in. And business owners, entrepreneurs, and even freelancers do the same thing. They try to charge more per hour. They raise the rates. They go out to their clients and say, look, I used to charge $100 an hour, but starting January 1st, my rates are going up to $110 an hour. And then they sit nervously waiting for people to complain, or they wait for clients to go look for a cheaper alternative. But the hope is that people stick around, and now for every hour I put in, I'm getting 10% more than I used to. And you try to do this on a regular basis. But again, this is limiting. Yes, as an employee, you can start making some great money and get higher and higher salaries, but you're still trading your time for money. And there is a ceiling. You can't make an unlimited amount of money. You're just gonna hit a wall. And the same for entrepreneurs, freelancers, consultants. These would be attorneys and accountants as well. Your hourly rate can only get so high before the market stops and says, whoa, you're way out of whack, I'm not paying. And so again, this is a strategy to create more income, but it's not as desirable. Okay, let's talk about the third way that you can increase your income. Now this is getting into the area of more desirable ways to make money. This is really the sweet spot for people that are consultants and freelancers and even small businesses. And what you want to do here is you want to stop selling your time and start selling value. Now, what do I mean by that? I'll give you an example from when I owned and ran my agency. We did a lot of design work, and we did a lot of logos and corporate identities. And when I started at the agency, we would sell a logo for, say, $3,600. If we got a corporate ID job and we can get $3,600, we were thrilled. And what we were essentially doing is we were figuring out how much time based on our rate was going to go into that work. And then, it was a good project if we could get that $3,600. What we started to realize was that we were solving a deeper problem. We were creating more value than just shipping a logo. Often we were solving branding issues, there were inconsistencies or incompatibilities, or there were issues that were broken or messaging problems. And as we were going through our research and doing the work to do a good corporate identity project for someone, we were bumping up against these things and figuring them out and solving them. An unintended consequence was that we were creating this value by solving deeper problems that our clients had. Well, we realized this and started saying, look, let's stop selling our time, which is the logo job. Let's sell more strategic work. Let's sell the branding work. And what ended up happening was we went from selling $3,600 logos to $20,000 branding projects. Now, this was a great leap for us. It was an exponential increase in the amount that we were being paid to do essentially the same work. So we moved from that selling time to selling value. And you can do the same thing too. This can apply to any type of service business, any type of professional business, consultants, freelancers, accountants, lawyers. You can start figuring out the value that you're creating and charge accordingly. Now, let's talk about this last way, this fourth way to increase income, to increase revenue. And this way is one that a lot of people just don't think about. And it gets beyond this idea of doing any work. And essentially, it is the idea of creating or acquiring assets. So an asset is something that is valuable, but ideally an asset is something that creates income for you. So what I mean by this is when you go out and buy a car, that's not necessarily an asset, because the minute you buy it, it loses value. It's not worth more, it's worth less. The minute you drive it off the lot, they say often it drops in value. So something like a car, although it's a physical thing that you own and it's valuable because it helps you get from point A to B, it's not an asset. It's typically a liability. An asset would be something like a rental property. Let's say you buy some real estate and you're able to have multiple units and you charge $1,000 a month per unit. You got 4 units, you're getting $4,000 a month from that asset. Now maybe it costs you $2,000 a month to own and to maintain. So at the end of the day, you're making $2,000 a month for owning an asset. And so this is the thing where you can start to generate a ridiculous amount of revenue through asset acquisition or asset creation. So for a design firm, as an example, you can create assets that you can sell. You can create video teaching series. You can create software apps that go on the iTunes App Store, but you have the skills and capability to create assets that then generate revenue for you over and over and over. And this last way is really kind of the secret sauce for people that are trying to become wealthy. Now, I'm not saying that you should do just one of these, that you should pick one and stick with it. The really smart people, especially entrepreneurs and consultants and freelancers, people in business for themselves, are looking for multiple income streams. And so you may be on some level trading some of your time for money. On another level, you may be selling value. On another level, you may be creating or acquiring assets that are throwing and flowing cash into your business. And so those are the 4 main ways that you can create and generate and enjoy more revenue. And I hope this was useful to you. Look, if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, give me a like. And also, if you haven't yet, subscribe. I post regularly on things like life, success, abundance, and entrepreneurship. And I'd love to have you along for the conversation. Guys, thanks so much for your time. You know I love you all, and I'll talk to you in the next video.